Dear students, today we are going to start class 10 History chapter 1 The Rise of Nationalism in Europe part 2. In this video we will do recapitulation. We will learn about a new conservatism after 1815, the revolutionaries, the age of revolution 1830 to 1848. Under this we will discuss about the Greek War of Independence. In previous part, we discussed about how the nationalism arose in Europe in 19th century. What were the factors those were responsible for the rise of nationalism in Europe? Nationalism, as we discussed, that it was a devotion towards the nation, a collective belonging which was based on the common language, culture, common past. Students, as we discussed all about, but there is need to recall the previous things so that it will be easy for us to understand the further contents. In France, Napoleon had done many changes. Those were for the benefit of France. He had destroyed democracy, but on the other side, he had done many good changes in the politics, in the economy. He had done so many good changes for the people. Earlier people, they were suffering because of these problems. Let us discuss what he had done. The Napoleonic Code was also known as Civil Code of 1804. Under this code, he did away privileges based on birth, established equality, secured right to property, simplified administrative divisions and abolished feudal system, improved transport and communication system, uniform laws, standardized weight and measurement, and a common currency was introduced by him. All these measures made the life of people easy and comfortable. Businessmen, traders, it was easy for them to exchange goods easily from one place to another place. Economic benefit was there for the nation. In Europe, the idea of liberalism started by the middle class. They played a vital role in the emergence of the idea of liberalism. In the nation state, people they wanted liberalism. Liberalism in that they wanted political liberalism, economic liberalism. Let us remind what was in the political liberalism. But before that, what was liberalism? Liberalism stood for equality before the law, freedom for the individual. In political arena, revolutionary France marked the first political experiment in liberal democracy in which right to vote and get elected was granted exclusively to property owning men only. Here, there is need to notice that the right to vote was only given to property holder male only. Other people, in that women also, they not got the voting right. For that, they started suffrage movement, that is to get the voting right. In economic liberalism, the people they got freedom of market. Easily they can exchange the goods, the common currency, standardized weight system, measurement system, all these things were done under the economic liberalism. Now the ideas of liberalism and nationalism changed the ideas of the people. It was a social force which was responsible for the reshaping of the future of Europe. In the early 1800s, these two powerful forces, those were liberalism and nationalism, began to emerge in Europe. These forces would eventually challenge Europe's conver- conservative political order. Now, the Battle of Waterloo was a combat between the French army under the orders of Napoleon and the British, the German, and the Netherlands armies led by Duke Wellington. This was the Battle of Waterloo, which was fought in 1815 between Napoleon and the major powers of Europe. It was the last great battle of Napoleon because, apart from being defeated, he was banished. Let us discuss what were the reasons of Napoleon's downfall. Napoleon's army was defeated. Allied army of European powers at the Battle of Leipzig, and by early 1814 the leaders of Russia marched triumphantly through French capital. As Napoleon was an ambitious person, and in Europe he was winning one after another territory, that angered the major European powers, and they got allied and they started battle against him. In that he was defeated. He was banished to tiny island Elba. After him, the conservatives, they restored the Bourbon dynasty. Louis XVIII took power but was very unpopular. He tried to repeal many of the reforms that had taken place during the Revolution. Nationalism in Europe. How does nationalism both break up and unify countries in Europe? Students, we are knowing that nationalism was a social force which was responsible for unifying the countries, like the countries those were divided into many parts. Nationalism make them united, but it was responsible for making the countries separate, like from one nation to many. After the fall of Napoleon, the European powers attempted to get Europe calmed down and settled into its old way at the Conference of Vienna. As we are knowing that after defeating Napoleon, major European powers, they wanted to reshape the future of Europe. For that, they met at Vienna and they started reshaping the politics of Europe, the economy of Europe. The 1800s were a time of great changes throughout Europe because these European powers, they wanted to establish conservatism, or we can say a conservative regime they wanted to establish in Europe. What was conservatism? Conservatism is a commitment to traditional values and ideas with opposition to change or innovation. Conservative people are not ready to accept radical changes. Following the defeat of Napoleon in 1815, European governments were driven by a spirit of conservatism. They believed that established traditional institutions of state and society like monarchy, the church, social hierarchies, property, and the family should be preserved because they didn't want to repeat the pre revolutionary days. Because if a modern army, efficient bureaucracy, a dynamic economy, the abolition of feudalism and serfdom, they thought that these could strengthen the autocratic monarchies of Europe. That's why they wanted to accept some of the changes made by Napoleon, but other changes they wanted to abolish. In 1815, the representatives of the European powers, those were Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria, collectively defeated Napoleon and met at Vienna. What was the Congress of Vienna? Congress of Vienna was an international conference that was called in order to remake Europe after the downfall of Napoleon. The Congress was hosted by Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. The delegates drew up the Treaty of Vienna of 1815 with the object of undoing most of the changes that had come about in Europe during Napoleonic Wars. What was the purpose of Congress of Vienna? Congress of Vienna, in that the major European powers were there, those were Great Britain, Austria, Prussia, and Russia. They wanted to rearrange the territories in Europe to prevent one country from becoming more powerful than the others. For that, they wanted to do some changes in the politics, in the political map of Europe. They wanted to restore the Bourbon dynasty, which had been deposed during the French Revolution, and they wanted to change the political map also of the Europe. A series of states were set up on the boundaries of France to prevent French expansion in future. The Kingdom of Netherlands, which included Belgium, was set up in the north, and Genoa was added to Piedmont. In the south, Prussia was given important new territories. In this way, many changes were done. This meeting was also known as the Concert of Europe. What was the effect of the Congress of Vienna? After the Congress of Vienna, many changes were done in the political map of Europe. Already we discussed some changes, and Russia was given a part of Poland, with Prussia was given a portion of Saxony. The main intention of these changes was to restore the monarchies that had been overthrown by Napoleon and create a new conservative order in Europe. In this way, all parts agreed to abolish the slave trade. As conservative regime set up in 1815 were autocratic, they didn't want to give rights to the people so that they can raise voice against them or put question over the legitimacy of autocratic government. That's why they wanted to put some restrictions on the people. Most of them imposed censorship, laws to control what was said in newspapers, books, plays, and songs, and reflected the ideas of liberty and freedom. Because of these restrictions, they wanted to control the spread of idea of liberalism and nationalism, but this was disliked by the revolutionaries. They criticized it because they lost the freedom of press. During the years following 1815, the fear of repression drove many liberal nationalists underground because they were not having right to make associations against government or raise question over the government. That's why they started making secret societies to train revolutionaries and spread the idea of liberalism, nationalism. To be revolutionary at this time meant a commitment to oppose monarchical form, and that had been established after the Vienna Congress. And to fight for liberty and freedom, that was illegal or a crime. It was at that time. Most of the revolutionaries were dreaming about the nation state, and for that it was necessary to get the freedom. One such individual was Italian revolutionary Giuseppe Mazzini. He born in Genoa in 1807. He became member of his secret society of Carbonari. As a young man of 24, he was sent into exile in 1831 for attempting a revolution in Liguria. As we discussed, that to take part in any revolution, it was a crime at that time. That's why revolutionaries were sent to exile. He subsequently founded two more underground societies, first Young Italy in Marseilles and then Young Europe in Berne, whose members were like-minded young men and the people of Poland, France, Italy and Germany. They were the members of these secret societies. Mazzini believed that God had intended nations to be the natural units of mankind. So Italy could not continue to be a patchwork of small states and kingdoms. That's why he wanted to make Italy a nation state. Because of his revolutionary activities, Metternich described him as the most dangerous enemy of their social order. That was the conservative order. Now, the age of revolution 1830 to 1848. As conservative regimes tried to consolidate their power, liberalism and nationalism came to be increasingly associated with revolution in many regions of Europe, such as Italian and German states. As they were increasing their power, liberal and nationalist people also they were taking part in the revolution against them. Educated middle class elite, among whom were professors, school teachers, clerks, and members of commercial middle classes, they were taking part in the revolution. The first upheaval took place in France in July 1830. In 1830, Charles X issued the July Ordinances. He dissolved the newly elected chamber before it met, imposed censorship on the press, reduced suffrage for bankers, merchants, and industrialists, called for a new election on these terms. He was ultra royalist person. July Revolution was very important in Europe. In this, workers, students, and intelligentsia had taken part. They wanted to overthrow Charles X and they wanted to make a constitutional monarch. For that, they wanted to install Louis Philippe. Here, regarding France, Duke Metternich remarked that he remarked for France, when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. Here, he wanted to say that if anything is happening in France, definitely it will affect the whole Europe because France was in the central position in Europe. It was affecting many countries. On August 7th, Duke Orleans is given the throne on the condition he observed the constitutional charter of 1814. He resigned as Louis Philippe. The Greek War of Independence. An event that mobilized nationalist feeling among the educated elite across Europe was the Greek War of Independence. Greece had been part of the Ottoman Empire since the 15th century, the growth of revolutionary nationalism in Europe sparked of a struggle for independence among the Greece as Greek, Greece wanted to become independent from the Ottoman Empire. That's why they started nationalist struggle there in 1821. Nationalists in Greece got support from other Greeks living in exile and also from many West Europeans who had sympathies for ancient Greek culture. Poets and artists lauded Greece as the cradle of European civilization and mobilized public opinion to support its struggle against a Muslim empire. The English poet Lord Byron organized funds and later went to fight in the war, where he died of fever in 1824. Finally, the Treaty of Constantinople in 1832 recognized Greece as an independent nation. So, students, here we have seen that the nationalism played a vital role in the independence of Greece. Now, in the last, some questions are there to think about. How did Napoleon Code benefited the businessmen and small scale producers? What does liberalism stand for since the French Revolutions? What do you mean by conservatives? Highlight the main features of the beliefs. After becoming the monarch, what changes were introduced by Napoleon? So, this is today's content. Thank you.